Okay, well now we're back and we're going to look at doing a narrow mitered hem. Now here was a fat quarter, and these again were not some of my finest fabric choices, but that's what's great. So I took a bunch of this grouping of fat quarters that I had bought and decided to do napkins. So again, I've got a narrow mitered hem on the back. So that's what we're going to look at doing. So let's go and see. The first thing we need to do is we've cut our fabric 18 by 18. Now I'm going to take a ruler, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark every side 1/2 inch from the raw edge. So I'm going to mark 1/2 inch from the raw edge. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch from using that same edge, raw edge. And I'm going to do that all the way around my napkin. Now the first thing we're going to do on this is now that we've got this corner and we can see the markings, we are going to fold that over until the point kisses the inside intersection of my 1/2 inch and 1 inch line. So here is my inside intersection right here. So you can see that. So what I'm going to do is fold this in, kind of press that in, and then I'm going to cut that off. So there I go. Now it's been cut off. So now I have a nice little blunt end here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put these right side together. Now what I'm going to do here is you're going to notice we've cut it off right here. Well, now I've got a square in here that's a 1/2 inch. I'm going to mark diagonally across that square from here to here, not to the edge, just to this 1 inch line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up, right sides together, and I'm going to line that up right here so you can see, and I've got that mark that's going from the point straight out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sink my needle right here and sew just to this little intersection. I'm not going to go across. I'm only doing this little 1/2 inch intersection here. So we're going to go to our machine, make sure this is nice and lined up, and we're going to come over here to our machine, and you're going to notice I have changed my thread on my machine for whatever I want in my bobbin and my top to go with my napkin. I'm going to go ahead and put an open sole foot, and that's so you can see. Normally I would stitch with my regular presser foot. I'm going to leave it at a 2.5 stitch length, and I am going to sink this in the edge, that little outside edge of the napkin. Okay, I'm put my foot down, and I'm going to sew slow here. And then I'm going to back it up, just so that I know I've got a nice little sewing there. Pick that up. Now it would hold your fabric and everything much nicer if you were using a regular presser foot. But I wanted you to be able to see that all I've done right here is I have sewn from right here on the folded edge to the point and back. Now what we're going to do is we are going to turn that. I'm going to use my little turner to poke that corner out. Now let's come over here to our board, and now what I would be doing is I would fold it on that 1 inch line. I would fold it under on that 1/2 inch line I had drawn, and over on that 1 inch line, so you can see this is going to lay as a beautiful mitered corner. So you can see here where I've done that. I can fold this in. I can fold this down. And you are going to see what a beautiful mitered corner we're going to get on this. And those lines are there drawn for us to fold and turn on. Now we would do all 4 corners like that. So let's look again. See how I sewed from the edge to here, edge to that intersection. Turn it. Just poke that through, and we're not going to trim any fabric off of this because that holds that corner just beautiful. Now let's look at this one. See how nice that holds that corner? And because this is loose, we didn't sew past that. That's what makes it easy for us to turn this in and have that beautiful corner, because it's going to turn in where we didn't sew. So that's the reason that we don't sew all the way to the edge. So we have this nice corner. Now we're just going to do a little bit because I don't have the iron up to press all this down, which we would do. We would press this all the way down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change my foot, and I'm going to use an edge stitch foot. And how you can tell this is an edge stitch foot is you can see that little fin in the middle. That's so that you can keep an even edge going. Let's put this back on my machine here. Put her on, snap her on. Now I will just fold this down where it's supposed to be folded along that line. And now I will set that edge stitch foot down using the fin on the fold. Then I can move my needle position over to where it's just inside that, and then I can go ahead and sew, and now I have a nice, and it's always going to be a nice even edge because I'm running that fin along that fold. Now obviously I would do that all the way around. I would do all 4 corners, fold them in, and do that all the way around. So again, let's look one more of those corners just so we've got the idea on how to do the corner. I've got all my marks drawn. I'm going to fold this tip in. I'm going to fold the tip in. I'm going to finger press it, and I'm going to cut it off. There we go. Now that I have cut that off, we are going to put right sides together, matching that corner very nicely along the raw edges. Fold them so they're all perfect. And then we're going to stitch. But we're only going to stitch to this fold line because that's what gives us that little open edge so that we can fold under. So we're going to come in here. Again, I'm going to go ahead, and I can't use this foot. Let me go ahead and now put on the regular foot because that has a much better hold here. There's our foot. Makes a much nicer seam on that. And as you can tell, I'm foot put on challenge tonight. There we go. Okay, now that's all folded nice. I am going to start here at the fold. Start at the fold. Put my needle back into center. Well, I'll just move this over to match my needle. I can do that. There we go. There we go. That's simple. Now again, once we've done that, when this comes up and we come over here and we turn it, use your little turner, put that in. How nice is that? And there's those edges sticking out so that you can fold this under and top stitch all the way down, making a beautiful mitered hem that's very quick and easy to do all the way around your napkin. Okay, so there's our narrow mitered edge napkin. Now we'll come back in a minute and we're going to do our self-binding backing napkin.